Hello ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome back to another PUBG video. I have been keeping you up to date about the developments of PUBG, what the things would mean for Xbox launch and if it was ever coming to PlayStation. But today is the official launch of Xbox PUBG. I can't wait to go through it all with you guys. I'm giving you a detailed guide on the key differences between the Xbox version and the PC version and what to expect from some of the other changes they've made specifically just for console. Make sure you're hyped with me. It's coming out at midnight tonight in the UK. Check your time zones for that, whatever that is, and let's go. Let's get on the PUBG hype train. So let's boil it down. The PC version 1.0, which is the full game, is launching on the 20th of December. The version you are going to be playing on the Xbox is a little bit behind. Because it's an early access title, they are going to be taking their time a little bit more with it, but it's not that far behind the PC. Some of the things they will be including in the Xbox version are the vaulting system. That is really good to see and really good to hear. I was really worried they wouldn't put that into the system. Unfortunately, there is going to be no actual map, no brand new desert map, that is, no mirror. That's the name of the brand new desert map, as you can see in the background right now. This is for PC only at the moment. Expect to see this added to the Xbox version at some point in the new year. So the vaulting system is in the game, but it's not going to be as refined as the PC version currently. It's had a good 3 or 4 weeks of testing on PC and have been iterating it a lot. Obviously the Xbox version went into certification a month ago, and while there can be a day one update, I don't think they've established more of it. So there will be some basic simple vaulting like you're seeing in the video here, but some of the other features to make it a little bit more responsive, make it a little bit easier to recognise what you can vault and what you can't vault, won't be in here like it has been for the test servers currently on PC. Still, I think it's great that we are actually getting the vaulting mechanic. There is no pre-download for the game because it is an early access game. You will not be able to pre-download it until midnight tonight. You can buy PUBG from Amazon and other game stores, but what you are actually getting is the game box with a downloadable code inside. It's not a physical disc. The physical disc edition is going to be coming to Xbox. They've announced, they said that was going to be happening, but it will not be happening until next year at some point. So if you're going to buy it from Amazon, you're going to buy it from a retailer, expect to get a download code for it, not the actual physical disc. That shouldn't matter too much because you should know that PUBG is exclusively online. You cannot play any type of the game mode offline. The actual update size itself is around 30 GB, so make sure you've got around 30 GB free on your actual Xbox console. Sorry to disappoint, but anyone expecting 60 frame rates per second are going to be disappointed. Previously, the developers did say they would have it running at 60 FPS on the Xbox X. Right, as of now, they are saying now it's going to be 30 FPS across the Xbox One and the Xbox S. They are going to continue to make improvements and see if they can up it to something like the PC equivalent. The game is meant to support 4K support, but currently right now it doesn't actually list it, but it has said that in the past during the preview trailer for it. It will support HDR off the bat, and it will certainly improve some other key features. We're expecting some point of view options to be able to change in the game too. One thing you might not know though is some of the game modes aren't going over straight away to the Xbox version. There is no first person mode coming as of yet. Currently on the PC you can choose to play third person or first person only. First person will not be coming till next year at some point. Another key feature that has actually made it over from the current PC 1.0 update coming is the ballistics of bullets. For a while now they have slowly incremented and implemented different ways that the bullets go over the land. Specifically sniper rifles and long range rifles did take bullet and wind of drag effect into place. But they've only really started applying that to all the bullets. So if you're really far away, it will matter how far you are. You can't just do these 100 million yards snapshot shots crazy across the map. That will be coming to the Xbox, and it is an improvement. It means you've got to judge and gauge more about where your shots go, and it also improves some of the close-up shooting as well. There's been much talk of whether or not you'll be able to use a keyboard and mouse on the Xbox One version. I'm here to tell you, you won't, not at the beginning anyway. Xbox, Microsoft do have plans to implement a lot more support for keyboard and mouse. They've even released a few pictures of their hybrid keyboard and mouse controller. But currently right now, the keyboard and mouse will not work for the Xbox One version. The control lats have been revealed though, so let's take a look exactly what to expect when you're pressing your buttons. So the standard firing controls are what you would expect from most first person shooters. You press the LT button to aim and then you press the RT button to fire. There are in fact two different aiming methods. You can just zoom in slightly with your gun held raised, or you can actually zoom in by double tapping the actual LT button. Now it doesn't actually list that on this page, but that's exactly what I was doing on the test servers using a controller on PC right up until the other day. So I presume it's exactly the same method. I can't find anywhere else where it shows you how to aim down the actual sights, so it must be double tap LT. You can free look around you as you're running to make sure no one shoots you by holding the RB and then the left stick to move and look around, and then the rest of the stuff is pretty bog standard. You can equip your weapons and whatever you're doing firing mode using the D-pad, and you use consumables by holding the down button. One notable difference is the interact button and reload button. If you want to interact with something like open a door, you need to press the X button once. If you want to reload, you need to hold the X button. That did take a little bit of getting used to do that, but you do quickly get the hang of it. Here's the gamepad controls for when you're aiming using a sniper weapon or something that's got a high zoom on it. You can see you hold your breath pressing the LB button, and then you can switch up what you want to do with zeroing in using the D-pad, and that is again very similar to most games that have some sort of sniper action in it. To actually zoom in on your target, you press the RB and use the L stick to zoom in and out. Most guns have different firing modes. You can fire in full auto, single burst, or actual just semi-auto. The driving is pretty bog standard, what you would expect. RT to accelerate, LT to reverse, handbrake using the Y button. You can boost, it's got a little nitro boost, most vehicles do, pressing the LB button. You can switch camera using the RB. If you want to change seats, maybe you've got a squad, someone wants to take over driving, you need to hold the A button. That is different from PC, obviously. On PC they have 3 or 4 different buttons where you can choose what seat you want to get into. It is a bit too much, so that's a really good change, that you can just simply hold the A button and you'll cycle through different seats. That is really important at certain moments. Maybe your teammates run out of ammo, you're driving and you need to switch it up quickly. It's a really good way to make sure you're always on the ball. There is swimming in the game. If you obviously know that by now looking at other footage, if you click the left stick in, you'll go a bit quicker. If you press the B button, you're going to dive under the water to avoid bullet sprays, and you can also interact with loot crates under the water if they do fall in there by pressing the X button. One thing you can't do is shoot in the water. Even if you're floating or some sort of position near a rock, you have to be fully standing on that rock before you can shoot anything. The maps in Battlegrounds are absolutely huge. You need to use the map and use markers so you can get around quickly and easy, specifically if you're in squad modes. You can place markers by right clicking on the actual right stick, and you can remove them by pressing the Y button, and obviously you just move around using the RB and L controller. There are some changes to the inventory system obviously as well, because on PC you can just drag stuff with your mouse. On the Xbox version, you can hold the X button to pick up an item, you can press the Y button to drop the item, or you can hold the Y button and you'll drop a certain amount. You can select whatever you want pressing the A button, and you go through columns from what's inside the bag or the crate you're looking at or the body, and what's in your inventory pressing the RB and LB button. So that's the actual controls listed. If you didn't know, the Gears of War developers, some of the people from Coalition, actually helped develop the game controls for Xbox. Unpaid. They didn't even form part of the dev crew. They just sent them an email and said, look, let us work on this for you. We love PUBG. We want to make sure it's right on console when it launches. And they're the guys that have actually helped actively develop the gamepad. The game itself is going to cost $29.99 or $24.99 UK sterling pounds. There will be no loot boxes at launch. On the PC version, as part of the 1.0 update, they will be launching loot boxes where you can buy customizable gear. This stuff does not affect gameplay, it is only cosmetic items. If you're someone that enjoys stuff like this and having new items, there is going to be a DLC pack you can buy that will include some stuff. It's called the Warrior Pack, and I do believe they're going to announce a couple of these different style packs you can buy with certain customizable items. You do earn items in game. You will earn items by opening up the in-game loot crates, but you can purchase loot crates via real world money on the PC version once it launches on 20th December. The Warrior Pack includes a balaclava hat, a camo t-shirt, pants and tennis shoes to customise. So that is some of the key differences and what to expect on launch day between PUBG on Xbox One and the PC versions. There is so much to get through. when the game actually launches, it is going to be different from PC. So I'm going to be doing some detailed guides on how you can win, how the best strategies and the tactics are, and you're going to obviously see me play lots of gameplay actually winning. There's a first few pointers just to point out though. It isn't like Fortnite where everyone pretty much just jumps out of the plane straight away. People do head for the nearest biggest town sometimes, but there's a lot more tactical approach. The map is much larger. You can spend a good 20 minutes not seeing anyone, making sure you get lots of loot and lots of items before you suddenly get shot from miles away by a sniper. It's that type of patient gameplay. If you're expecting Fortnite style, you're going to be seriously disappointed unless you're always just jumping straight away into the biggest town. But like I said, not everyone does that like they do on Fortnite. It's much more spread out. There's going to be lots of places for you to go. The map has undergone a few little minor changes since it launched. They've added a few more structures and buildings to certain places, and they've even added a couple brand new towns. The loot system is completely random. There is no system to say where the guns will spawn and what kind of guns will be there. It's all just completely random. That being said, there are a couple hotspots that you are going to expect to see much more better weapons or bigger choice weapons because of the location. Shatter SL made this map. It's a really cool one. It shows exactly the detailed bits and bobs of where to go for some of the best loot. The military zone in the south is one of the best places for high quality items. But anywhere where there's a large town, you can expect to get lots of loot because of just the nature of how many buildings there are. There's usually always some sort of gun or sight in every single building. So your best strategy is wherever the plane trajectory is going, because it just goes in a direct straight line, go find somewhere a little bit off the beaten track if it's a large town, or even better still, go right directly down, get yourself a vehicle and hop it all the way around the map to somewhere where there's going to be no enemies, where you can have a good 5 or 6 minutes of looting. The map, it does detail a high percentage chance of vehicles spawning, so it's not guaranteed that vehicles will always spawn in these spots, but there is definitely more of a chance of it actually happening. So memorize some of these map locations if you want, get grips with it. But anywhere along a road, basically, you may find a vehicle. You're not going to find a vehicle in the middle of the forest. It's always going to be somewhere near a road, on the edge of a building, just sitting there waiting for you. There can be lots of boat spawns as well, just on the coastal regions, and again, it's never deep in the water. It's always just off the coast, so you can jump into it quickly. Another thing I've learned while playing the game is don't panic when that blue ring hits. They have made changes to the blue ring, but just like Fortnite, if you manage your medical supplies properly, you can survive quite a lot of time outside of the ring. It only does a small percentage of damage, and of course you can heal up on the way. They will increase, or they have increased the blue damage at certain points so that people don't have this strategy of always being outside it. But again, you can still play the game like that as long as you get some first aid supplies. It's up to you what you do with your strategy in terms of following the blue circle, but like I said, just don't panic. Another thing not to panic over is the actual red zone. The red zone is the explosions, the bombs, the napalm that falls at certain points on the map. It's completely randomized. You can't really say where it's going to do. It doesn't take into account where players are. It will simply just spawn somewhere and you'll be either lucky or unlucky enough to be in the middle of it. Again though, it's not the world's worst thing. If you are trapped in the middle of it and it's just going off, there is a chance you will get killed, but it's not guaranteed. You can pretty much run through the red circle, and I would say 7 times out of 10 you'll be perfectly fine. It obviously makes sure though, if you don't want to have that chance, that risk, you do go out of the circle the best first chance you get. Vehicles do run on actual petrol. Surprise! You can pick up petrol canisters in the game that can help you refill your vehicle. Again, unless you've been going all the way around the map, you rarely run out of actual petrol, but it can be a good strategy. My little boy likes to get in a car the first chance he gets, and he just swaps car to car to car while picking up items and weapons, and by the end of it, he's normally got a car to take with him to the final circle. Some people don't like that strategy because you are an easy marker to shoot while you're in your car, believe it or not, but he seems to like it, and he's been getting a lot of top 5s with it. There was a joke about the frying pan being an OP beast, but it still does give you some protection. If you don't know, a frying pan is a melee weapon that you can equip, and while it's hanging up on your backside, it can protect you from certain damage, from certain bullets a little bit. So if you do get a frying pan, or you've got a choice between that and any other type of melee weapon, always choose the frying pan. Did you know you can actually swim back to the starting island? Oh, if you jump soon enough, you might even be able to use your parachute to get back there. Yes, there is items on that island and you can go and get the loot. You don't die just by jumping in the water nearby. Unlike Fortnite, you can't get back to the actual starting island. So, if you want to test around, muck about a bit on the starting island, go ahead. There are some underground spots on the map too. There's underground bunkers, there's underground caches. You've just got to look for them. They tend to be around the centre of the map. Expect all the other game modes to be there, squads, duos and obviously 1v1 in 100 players. I can't wait for this, guys. It's been something I'm really looking forward to ever since I heard it was coming to console. I know for PlayStation fans you're going to be disappointed it's not coming. It doesn't look like it's coming to you guys until late 2018. So that is my guide. That is everything you need to know about PUBG launching on the Xbox, differences between the console and the PC version, what to expect when it launches, and some quick tiny little tips for you guys. Hit me up with any other tips you find out in the first few days. Send me any screenshots, join the Discord. We've got a PUBG channel. If you're looking for people to play squads or duos with, come and join it and find some good rat bags to take on the rest of the PUBG population. I'm going to finish off with this. It's called PUBG, not fucking PUBG. Get it right, people. I'm Jade Plays Games. I can't wait to see you guys on it. Make sure you hit like on this video, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you rat bags later.